So just a wee bit of background information on the Respect Project. We were set up, I think it was in 2011, so probably about 12, 13 years ago. It was set up by a couple of volunteers here from the local area who were lucky enough to have went to visit the likes of Queen's Park Rangers and other clubs in London, just to learn about their community work, not so much about the football and the academies and all that. We hadn't much interest in that. We were more interested in how to use sport and football in particular to engage young people and do like a youth work sort of approach. So through them visits, the likes of clubs, it gave us ideas, and we thought there was a gap in Newry for the likes of that sort of project. So the Respect Project sort of initiated then. As I say, it's developed by local volunteers. Okay, way back when it started, there was a couple of volunteers started it, and very much even 13 years down the line, it's still very much driven by volunteers. 80-90% of what we do is all done by volunteers. We are lucky enough that every now and again that the likes of the council or other organisations maybe invite us in to deliver a project on their behalf. So we're able to get sessional staff, pay sessional staff a couple of pounds for their time. But we have no employed staff. As I say, it's very much 80-90% driven by local volunteers. So without them, as I say, the work of the project wouldn't take place. The aim of the project, it's not about how good at sport the kids are. It's that their interest in sport. And we use that as the hook to get the young people involved in all our programmes that sort of link in a wee bit of education around different issues that are important to young people. So as I say, the football in particular, the Champions League, it's the hook of getting the young people on a Saturday night away from their Xboxes, off the street, or away from potential sort of negative behaviour. So that was one of the reasons why the Champions League programme was started. Very quickly, just, and not bore you too much, but we sort of try and, I suppose over 4 different strands, I suppose you want to call it that way. But the likes of the Champions League programme that the young people took part in is what we call sort of our engagement programmes. So that's where young people can just turn up and get involved in the programmes. They don't have to tie into any long-term commitments. It's basically a fun-based programme using sport. So the likes of Champions League is one of our engagement programmes. We also do a community kicks programme, particularly over the summer months, where we literally show up in local housing estates and put sessions on free of charge. So it's literally those kids are hanging about the estates, can just get involved on their doorstep, and it's a bit of fun for them. So we use them programs to initially link in with young people. Once we're linked in with them, we try and sort of have a wee bit of a pathway for them into other programs. So the likes of the, if I just flick that back a wee bit, sorry. The likes of the capacity building programs is the likes of programs like the United Through Sport program that we run sometimes, which is a 12-week program that looks around issues like good relations, but again through a sporting lens. We have the likes of our on-site youth programs that we run at different times a year, where young people come to the Bosco Youth Centre and just get involved in fun activities at different sort of flashpoints throughout the year, where the likes of around in term of bonfires, 12th of July, that sort of stuff, where young people can come to the Bosco Youth Centre and hopefully get involved in positive type activities. And I say there's a couple of adult programs we do as well. We do a men's health program called Kickstart Your Health for any of the fathers in the room, and there's also a Ignite Your Health women's program that's currently ongoing at the minute. So it's what initially started out as a young people's project. We've started linked in a few adult projects as well, because there's more adults coming to us looking to see can they get involved in programs. So if people come to us with ideas, we'll take it on board and try to develop them. Following on from the sort of XM programs, there's the leadership program. So one of the most popular ones we run is the Peer Youth Leadership Program. You probably noticed some of the young people here tonight with the red jackets on. They're currently part of our Peer Leadership Program. That's a 12-month program that we've been running maybe 7 or 8 years. And the whole idea of that is that the young people are sort of developing as young coaches. They get a sports leadership qualification, and they also, the Champions League, they help and develop it and deliver it. So over the course of the 4 weeks down in Newry City, you would have seen some of the young people helping out with the off-pitch activities, the refereeing the games, the registration. So it's all a bit of experience for them through the Youth Peer Leadership Program. And then after that, we sort of try and link in young people as volunteers. So tonight we have about 3 or 4 young people who maybe 9 years ago, when maybe they're only 14, started off as our Peer Leadership Program. They're now 20, 21 or whatever it is, and they're still sort of volunteering now and again within the project. So there is opportunities there for young people to volunteer and get experience that hopefully helps them if they're applying for jobs or university or whatever it might be. So that's just a wee quick summary of the work of the programme. The focus of tonight is about the Champions League programme. That's what they're all here for tonight. Just a very brief summary of why we started the Youth Champions League. Sort of up front, there's enough football tournaments for football teams. So you're actually your local soccer teams, local Gaelic teams, whatever it might be. There's loads of opportunities there for young people to take part in competitive sport. we try to use the Champions League slightly different in the sense of the young people get their own teams together themselves. It's where they can gather their friends up. The young people coach their own themselves. There's no adult coaches linked into any of the teams. And we purposely put that in place because sometimes, my own opinion, sometimes adults maybe, particularly nowadays, can sort of, what would you say, complicate things, I think, for young people on a football pitch sometimes, where we wanted to do the opposite of that. We wanted the young people to lead on themselves, sort their own teams out, sort their own subs, organise their own sort of times when they're meeting up and all that type of stuff. So it's very much young people led. It's a fun-based programme, okay? Yes, football is competitive and some of the matches get competitive and that's fine, but it's very much a fun-based sort of programme on a Saturday night. Hopefully young people are coming down, playing a bit of football, having a bit of crack amongst each other, doing off-pitch activities. So we hope that's sort of, we'll keep that fun-based element to it. As I already say, there's no adult coaches involved with the teams. The young people organise that themselves. It's delivered probably over 6 years now. We initially started quite small and just had the Bosco Youth Centre initial for the Champions League with about 40 people at it. But it's grown over the years. I think there's near enough over 200 young people involved in this year's programme, which has shown how much that programme has sort of developed over the years, which is great to see. This one here was targeted at young people 12 to 14 years of age. And we also have looked at doing an older version, a 15 to 17-year-old age group, which we did. We piloted it last year, and it went well. So we're hoping to have another one for an older age group. And as I say, the young people, the peer leaders involved in this year's programme had developed that and had delivered it. As you can see from just some of the photographs, these things just don't happen. There's a lot of preparation work goes into it, just getting up and going. And these young people involved in the peer leadership programme were very central to that. They would have helped organise it, would have did fixtures, they would have did the draw. And I say on the night themselves, they would have different wee jobs to do to support the adults and delivering it. So we feel it's a great experience for them. And as I say, it's great to see them involved in the likes of these programmes.